Good evening. It is November 24th, 2021, and here's what we're looking at for today. Turned out to be, really it was just a range day, but we trended down in the overnight, and then we had a break of that channel, moved to a new low, and then we reversed. And I didn't see too many good long entries up here, but I saw some down here. So, that's all. We had a break here, moved to a new high, and then we had a nice second entry short, and then we had our second leg up to a new high. So yeah, that's how I saw it today. Let's take a look at these trades. And if you came in early, you probably would have been done early. Turn this off. And 5 o'clock comes somewhere around here, and right at 5 o'clock you get this failed second entry short, and off the EMA we just had a, well, I guess this wasn't really relevant then, but especially at this point it was hard to tell where the trend line was. It wasn't until about here that we really knew that this was the channel and these were the highs. So I took this. This gets you only a scalp, unfortunately. Right here, we get a second entry short setup, but I didn't want to go short there just because of the signal bar. But if you had a good signal bar there, I mean, look, you can see what happened. Big sell-off there. So, but you get a first failed second entry short, and so I like that entry, and that gets you a quick couple points. But again, that was all, unfortunately. Looks like a first second entry short that doesn't set up right here, but then we get another failed second entry short. You might be looking at that as congestive, so you might not take that, but looked like we were trending down, so I like that. And then we get a bounce, and to be honest, since it looks like we're going back into the overnight highs and lows range, I like this entry, but it's just the first entry, so it's aggressive. So when we get this second entry with a very bearish bar, I really like that. And if you didn't take that, you get a lower high right here, closes on its low. That's a great entry right there, trapping even more longs. So I like that, but then it turns out we're really just ranging. We got a break of this downward channel, and we're making a move to a new low. You can see we get about 2 legs to a new low. So I think Wilson from the forum played this like a second entry long, but I mean the new high is right here, so that's, for me, that's a first, second, third entry. And I was looking at a failed second entry long right here, and that gets you a scalp, I'm pretty sure. I think 57.50 is your entry. Yeah, and that gets you a scalp. So that's what I was looking at. And then you get a second entry short right here. I was still looking at going short until, we get this bounce here. And this was the first one I looked at. And I think I had this square there, but now that I didn't have the trend channel drawn. You have a trend channel right here. That's second entry long. I think you can take that, and if you don't take that, you can take this. So, this is like a 25-point bar or tick bar, though. So I mean, realistically, I don't know who's going to take that, but you can definitely take this second entry long. I wanted to talk about that, like, oh, I'm not looking to go long yet, but we already made a new high, and we bounced off. We confirmed this trend line right here, and you get a higher low, which is a second entry long. So I think you take that, and this is a failed second entry short right here. So that's why I was looking at that. We get this strong move up. We get a break, move to a new high, try to go higher once, twice. That's a great failed second entry short right there. And we get another touch off the trend channel, and you get a first failed second entry long, or failed second entry short, bounced off the overnight lows, and the EMA closes just above the EMA. And if you don't get that, you get a first entry, second entry long. So plenty of opportunities this morning. And sorry, I'm not zoomed in. I typically like it when Mac zooms in, so I apologize for that. But yeah, you can see all these good entries. And it starts to get congestive up here. It's at the midline of the overnight highs and lows. We have this trend up, form congestion that starts to break, and you get a first entry, second entry, no good signal bar. So when it breaks lower and then higher, well, actually this is the second entry, excuse me. So that's the second entry. I marked it as aggressive because we had this break of the channel, but maybe it's not so much. I mean, I think really it's just aggressive because it's congestive. If it wasn't congestive, I think with a signal bar that bullish and we're expecting a move to a new high, I think you take that. And I don't think you can take any of this. This, unfortunately, is a first entry. And the higher lows don't set up well. This isn't bullish enough. This is a pretty neutral signal bar. And here, so people such as myself, I didn't see that this was an uptrend at this point, unfortunately. So I was looking at this like a failed second entry long. But for some reason, it did fail. But then people who entered on the third entry got it. I mean, I guess you had to just be careful because there was a range here. And you can see the failed breakout works, but the second entry inside the range didn't work. This higher low is tempting, but you're going into the highs of the range. So maybe, you know what? I think if you see the upward trend, you can take that. But I didn't see it at that time, unfortunately. Then this is all too far from the EMA. Make a new high. First entry, second entry is below the EMA, so I'm not liking it. That looks like a break of this channel and a move to a new high. And this is at the overnight highs. So just not feeling that, to be honest. This is all congestive. It looks like if you went long here, you would have scalped out, but yeah, it looks like you would have scalped out, but you would have had to ride out that congestion. So we get this break, fail break lower. First entry, second entry, signal bar's no good. Higher low comes here, but that's not looking too good either. But when you get this first failed second entry, I think if you see all this, like this is the fail break lower, and it's our first break of this upward trend, I think you might take that. First entry, this kind of looks like a second entry, but we had a break and we're already pretty high up. So we get this congestion here, and you get a first entry, breaks lower, second entry, and unfortunately this bar closed way too fast. I don't think anyone could get in on that, but I was waiting with my order. So if you jump the gun and place your order there early and you got filled, that's great. But this thing closed way too fast, unfortunately, because that gets you a good move down. And then all the shorts get trapped and we start going higher. And I don't see how you would know this at this time, but this is a failed second entry short, but it's beneath the EMA, so I don't see how you can take that. You might actually take this one, because this looks pretty bullish. If you're reading this right, I think you can take that. I didn't see this in real time. I don't know if I was watching, but that looks like it'd be hard to spot in real time. Just a higher low. Come to the top of the channel, first entry, second entry, you get a good signal bar right there. This one's no good. This one's pretty good, so I like that. And these are all dojis and stuff, and this kind of looks like a double top, so first entry, second entry. With these dojis, I don't like that, but once you get this higher low and a nice bullish signal bar, I think you got to take that. It's off the channel. Lows. And then all this is just too congestive, and you're pretty much into 1 o'clock. So I hope everyone had a great trading day. If you know Wilson on the forum, I strongly suggest watching his videos. It's really good motivation. But let's take out the trades I took, or check out the trades I took. Unfortunately, so I took 2 great trades early in the morning, and I accidentally took one in the afternoon thinking I was on my practice account, and it was I didn't see we were in an uptrend because I didn't zoom out, and that trade failed, and that messed with my mentality, and I took another trash entry, and next thing you know, my account is from positive to a large negative. So I did take this failed second entry long. Unfortunately, you just get a scalp out of it. In hindsight, I was going to say this is a bit aggressive, but I'm expecting prices to get down to these lows again. So just because it looks a bit congestive, but we're having really great price rejection up until this doji. Then we get a couple dojis in a row. And, I mean, it filled so fast, so I think there were trapped longs here. And then I took this failed second entry long right here. And unfortunately, it's not right at the EMA, but I do like this because we're in a nice downtrend, and it's close to the EMA. I do just want to be patient. Like on the practice account, I took this entry, first, second entry short, and really I think the better entry is right here on the lower high. That gets you a really nice move. But anyway, let's go to these trash entries I took, unfortunately. So I did not see here that we were in an uptrend. Just because I never zoomed out, and I wasn't thinking about the context. So I see this range, and I'm like, oh, we're making this double top at this price level right here. I'm like, okay, we're reversing to the lows, but we didn't even have a break of this channel. So I took a failure right here, which definitely trapped a lot of longs, but it's just not, we didn't have a break of this channel. You don't want to go short. And so I got trapped right there. And I did think that was on my practice account, so I was taking it with no worries. And then I saw it was on my real simulator account that I think of as my official account. And so I was pretty frustrated, but I'm not going to let it, knock me down. And then, so in frustration, revenge trading, I took this, I went long here as a failed second entry short, and you get stopped out and it goes exactly where you knew it was going to go. Just not a good entry. So that was tough. But moral of the story, that's a mistake you want to have 0 times in your career. So that's something you really got to think about, and that's what I got to think about. So I hope everyone had a good day, and I'll be back on Friday.